it's Shannon from Creative Chaos in Tennessee, and today I am back with another DIY embellishment video. And today we are going to take it way back. So we are going to go back to our very basic shapes. Now, I'm also going to issue this as a challenge for my Facebook group for the whole month. I want you to take those basic shapes and make some embellishments. So today I'm going to show you 3 different things that you can make using basic shapes. So I have a square and a circle and pretty much like a rectangle. So none of this is new. I have showed all of this before on my channel. But I think it was actually my first couple of videos, maybe my first 4 or 5 videos on my channel. So it's been a hot minute, considering it's been 2 years. My table is a mess. But I wanted to show you guys. So I made these super cute little circle flowers. I have made these before. You can do them many different ways, different styles. Here's this one. I just haven't pulled these all the way apart yet. And then these, I added these cute little flat backs. As you notice, I am in B mode. I also made these pinwheels, and can do them in lots of different ways. You can make them as full or as flat as you would like. I actually have made these so that they're actually 3D and can spin before. I actually have this one, and I made it in my first video when I made it. But this one will actually spin. I used a brad on a paper straw. So I just have it setting up in a little bucket with like my little wands and things like that. I've gotten swaps that people's made me just for something pretty to look at. Absolutely love pinwheels. And then the last thing I made was this cluster, and it all has basic shapes. So I had the rectangle paper, a circle, a square, and then just some little printed ephemera. So all of this is from the Busy Bees kit by Angela Kerr Designs, which is a digital kit download. And I just printed out some paper. Some of it I did double-sided, like the pinwheel paper. It has all these little bees. And I'm sorry, it's super gloomy outside and storming, so my light isn't the best. But let's get started and make some embellishments. So first of all, we are going to start with these little circle flowers. These are super cute. You could use them on the front of a card as a flower, and you could add a little stem. I have done layouts where you can kind of just consider them like flowers. So whenever you have a 12 by 12 paper, you could just lay them out. You could use them just like I did the Vicky Booten flowers last month. Same concept, but you can use your basic tools. So I have a set of circle dies that are the stackable, I can't remember what they're called. One's smaller and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. But I cannot find them. I took them to the crop with me, and I've unpacked everything and still have not found them, so I hope I didn't misplace them somewhere. But anyways, so since I couldn't find those, and I didn't want to do my Cricut a million times in different sizes and papers and all that stuff, I just did them by hand. So this is something you can use even with no tools. I used this tape and drew my circle around it. I used the bottom of this because it's a little bit bigger, and then I used the top of this, and then I used the bottom of this to get different sizes. And then I used my inside of my washi tape and drew my circle. And then I pretty much just cut them out and I inked them. And voila, you have all kinds of circles to play with. Now, not only you could use a Cricut, you could use dies. You could do what I just did and trace these out by hand. But then I got looking, and y'all, if you've watched for a long time, you know I don't have a lot of punches. But when I went to the crop on the free table, someone had brought a ton of punches that people had, a lady had cleaned out her craft room and gave it to someone that was there, and so they brought it and shared all the stuff with us. And this circle punch was in there, and it says it's a 2 5/16 inch, so it's a really good size. I think I actually punched one out, but I may have already used it. But anyways, I have my other papers over here, so like I said, it's super easy. Let's see here. I'll punch some of the different, look how pretty this is. I love it with the purples and the yellows and all of that stuff, but you can totally just punch out your circles. And same thing, I also have like these scallop circles. I have this one, I have this smaller one. These were ones I already did have. But I also picked up lots of other punches, like border punches and stuff, which I'll show you guys in a second. But pretty much what you're going to do, you kind of do need a couple of smaller sizes, and you could even do 3. Like this one has 3 layers, and I think it's really cute. And all I did was ink it up. And since I was doing bees, I did ink them in black, but it's super light. Can't even hardly see it. My brush is almost empty. But you take these, and all you're going to do is, what I did first was I distressed my edges with my distress tool, just to give it a little bit of character, I guess. You could totally do them without distressing your edges if you wanted to. Like I said, I just like the look of this better. And once you have that done, you're just going to cut in. So you're going to go in, but you don't want to go all the way to the center. And you don't want to cut too close to, like, you know, cut it like a pie. You want to leave space so that it doesn't fall apart. And if you wanted to give it even more petals, you could go back in and cut these again. And I just usually go through and bend each one. You can bend it down, you can bend it up, just to show a little bit of dimension. And then I usually just run my ink dauber over it again, so it kind of gets a little bit on those cut marks, just to show up a little bit better. And then you just take a smaller one, and same thing, you're going to, let's see, this one's probably way too big, but I kind of need another in-between size for these. But you can totally take it and distress this up also. And then for my centers, I put them on foam tape. And then you could add bling to the centers. You could add sequins. You could do a whole bunch. Like, you could just totally add like a big thing of glue and put a bunch of sequins in the center to make it look more like a flower type deal. You could add bling. I use these little flat backs. I ordered this on Amazon and I love it. It has different size bees and flowers. All of this stuff came in here. And I want to say it was like $8 or $9 for it, I think. Anyways, I have it on my Amazon link that I'll post in the description box below. And I am an Amazon affiliate now. I'm not being very good at it. I haven't had anyone purchase anything through my links yet. But I put it up there just because, mostly not even to worry about selling, but to keep everything in one place for the things that I purchase on there and that I get asked about a lot. So I have them all on there. My board, I'll be honest, is not organized very well yet. So it's kind of all on one thing, like everything I have on there. So be patient if you go on there and look. But isn't that cute? And you could totally do one of these little yellow ones, since it already has a little yellow flower on the paper. You could totally put that on there. And you don't even have to put it in the center. I kind of like putting it off-centered. It just gives it a little bit of character. And voila. And I usually use tacky glue to attach any buttons or anything like that so they hold good. But this one's okay for now. So I have all of these that I can still make. You could even do them up, and then you could put a piece of the ephemera if you have it. Like I said, I like to use printables a lot, but you could add this and then just add this as a cluster, and make some circle clusters. Lots of options. So I want to challenge you, whether you use your scissors or your punches or your Cricut or your dies or whatever, pull out those basic shapes and those tools and actually put them to work for you and create some cute embellishments that you can use on your cards or your pages. Okay, so next up, we are going to do our pinwheels. So you can see I have lots of different versions here. They're all different sizes. And what I did was, I just took a square. You can use any size square you want. Let me punch one here. This one's not double-sided. Let's see. I do have a double-sided paper printed. I printed these from the collection. I just ran them through twice. But look how cute. Okay, so I have this square punch. I've had this for a long time, and I really just don't even use it. It's kind of has just fell by the wayside. So, like I said, you can use any size you want. And that's how I did this one. And then to make the pinwheel, this is basic. Like, this one's just the basic. If you don't want it decorative, I decorated all those up. But you just take your square and you cut in at the corners. Make sure you don't go all the way to the middle. You need plenty of room here, at least probably a ½ inch in the center, because that's where you're going to connect everything. And then you can take your hole punch, preferably a small hole punch. I don't have, well, I do have a handheld small one, but my big one broke like as soon as I started my channel, and I never replaced it. So all I have is this crocodile, and it has 2 different sizes. So I'm going to use the small one, and first I'm going to put a hole in the center. So got my hole in the center, and then I'm going to decide which way I want to connect it. So you will put a hole in the same place in every one. So you have to decide if you want to put it on the left side or the right side of your cut on each one. So I'm going to put mine on the left. So I'm going to put my hole there. Same thing, I'm going to make sure I put it on the left side of it. Left side of the next one. And left side of the next one. So, now you can see I have 5 holes in here. So then I make sure I have my brads. So I have some brads here. And you could ink this if you wanted to. On the bigger ones, I did decorative edges, but you're just going to fold your, where you punched a hole, you're going to fold it to the center for each one. So use one hand to fold and one to hold your center so you keep everything all lined up. And then this one's going to come over. And then this one's going to come over. It does make it a little harder than the smaller you make them, because you have to hold on to those little bitty tiny pieces. And then put your brad through the center, close it up. Now, if you wanted to actually attach these to like a straw or whatever, like I did, you just leave your brad open and poke your hole through your straw and then push your brad on through and then just open it up. So, I just used a little flower brad on that one. But then you have your little pinwheel. And if you wanted them to be flatter to use on your page, you could totally squish them down so that you still have a pinwheel, but it's pretty flat overall. And then on these, I just took decorative edge punches. I got this one off the free table. And I got this one off the free table. And I love this one with the circles. I'm not very good at lining it up. And I also got a few others. But I just pulled these out for the sake of this video. And you can see here I already punched around the edges. And essentially you're going to still do it the exact same way. So you're going to go in from the corners. And then you're going to punch your hole, one in the center, one in the corners. You could totally take triangles and make kites out of them. You could not actually create a specific embellishment, but put multiple ones together, and you could put multiple ones together and create something. Like you could take a triangle and some circles and make an ice cream cone. Lots of different things. So that's my challenge to you for the rest of the month. Also, if you leave, of course, a comment on this video, you'll be entered to win a set, and you'll get one of the clusters and some of these pinwheels and some of these flowers. So you just have to leave a comment. But then you have your pinwheel. Isn't it cute? Adorable, right? And you could do these in any type of paper you wanted. You could use them in double-sided. If you don't have double-sided, you can always just cut two pieces the same size and glue them back to back. On pinwheels, I have noticed that the thinner the paper, the better it actually folds and stuff. These are, of course, made with like 110-pound cardstock that I print on, so they're a little bit thicker, but it's okay. You can see this one, I used this little bubble-looking punch on. Kind of gives me a lacy look, and I love it, but like I said, I'm not good at lining it up. So then, last but not least, we are going to work on creating this little cluster. And what I did was, I just took a piece of paper, a rectangle, and I decided I was going to punch a border on it, on both sides, just to make it pretty and decorative. So you totally don't have to do this if you don't want to. But it's another good way of using up your tools and just getting stuff out and playing. If you have a bunch of stuff that you have already cut up, You could totally take and just use those and create some clusters out of it. Or if you have, like, say a sticker pack or something like that that's left over after you've used up the kit, you could totally take that sticker pack and make some clusters out of your basic shapes, and then you could add it into another collection so that you could actually use it up. Okay, so here's this one. And then what I did was I took a square. I don't have any more squares that's small enough, so let's just punch one. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to punch this part. Got the little bee house now. Isn't that cute? And then, well, I lost my distress tool. Do y'all see it? Oh, here it is. It's under my tape. I'm telling you, y'all, I would lose my head if it wasn't attached. My brain has been all over the place. They put me on a new medicine, and I am frazzled. I am not sleeping at night, and I'm not sleeping at day either. I'm getting about 4 solid hours, and it's just not enough. So, let's see here. I have all these circles left. Let's see. I kind of want to use a floral looking one. Look at this one. Oh, I don't want to use 2 bee houses though. Oh, this one's pretty. This one's pretty. I'm telling you, all of them are pretty. It's hard to decide. Okay, let's just do that. Alright, and then what I did was I popped everything up, because y'all know I like to give dimension on my stuff. And on this one, I'm just going to put it on half because I'm going to be gluing it. So I forgot to distress the edge on this one. So there's that part, and then I'm just going to add this on with a little bit of glue. And I'm going to glue this one over. Let's go down a little bit. There's that. And then I have little sayings and stuff from... That one's cute. This is Premium Honey. I have all these on the one of the cut-aparts. This one says, "You're the bee's knees. Buzzing with energy. Believe in you. Honey, I'm home. Home is where the hive is." So let's just cut out "You're the bee's knees." I'm telling you, y'all. I keep saying, okay, no more digital collections. And then I see another one, and I'm like, I need it. I'm like, hi, my name's Shannon, and I'm a printable-aholic. I'm 0 days clean. I need help. Help, help, help. It is, y'all. It's a, I don't know. It's definitely a disease. It's definitely a disease. I have craftitis, okay? So... You could even use some of these little pinwheels on here to jazz it up. You could put a jar of honey. I kind of don't want to cover up the bee. Let's see if I can find my page of here's my little page of cut-aparts that I haven't cut yet. Maybe I should put this little honeycomb on there. That could be pretty. And when fussy cutting, I know a lot of you guys don't like to do it. Move your paper and not your scissors. It makes a big difference. Okay, let's see if I can put it down here. Oh, it's still gonna cover it up. let's see. Let's cut off half of it. And then we can just shove it in there. And then I still can see a bee. You definitely don't have to be, you don't have to be this extra and difficult like me, but I really just can't help it. Okay, I'm going to pop that one up on foam. Let's add a little pinwheel just because we can. I'm just going to put a little piece of foam tape on the back to hold it on really good. If you had like a really small flower, which I don't have a really small one, probably a little smaller than this, you could totally put it on there. This would be cute as a memory decks card if you like to make memory dexes. Same thing, layer it up. But overall, the biggest thing is I just want you guys to create with your basic shapes and just use up your stuff. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it inspires you. I hope to see you guys over on the Facebook group playing along. And like I said, all you have to do is to leave a comment to be entered to win. And then, of course, if you come over and play along on the Facebook group, you can also be entered to win Happy Mail. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And until next time, bye, y'all.